Friday, August 18th, market analysis, Stan Ehrlich. You know, I always start out with the stock market indexes, and we've got a lot to say today. Also, so we got some brand new trades on precious metals in particular. So the S&P 500, the spider gapped down into new lows for a couple of weeks territory this morning, but into oversold conditions and support areas. And the opening 60 seconds was the low of the day so far. Rallied up to and closed the gap an hour or two ago, but it hasn't collapsed to any degree. It actually made new highs once or twice, not by much. Currently down 75 cents, very little. If we can climb to a higher close today, you probably have the low of the move in, and I'm changing to daily data chart now. That was 1 minute. At support, very close, opened on its lows, came up, closed the gap, went up a little bit more, and is now currently lower, like 75 cents, no big deal. If it drops off a lot more, that's not good. We could do the same thing again on Monday morning and get more accurately at support for new lows by a modest amount. And I haven't called a turn yet, but I'm awfully close, you can tell. If we can close, let's say, above the high we have so far, and this morning, currently at 10:14 California time, we are a high of 436.55, and at 35.55, we're only a point from the high. Like I said, we're only down 75 cents, so it was net higher by a quarter. You could obviously now, if it gets stronger and makes new highs and keeps going, the better, the higher, the quicker, the stronger. The more likely we are to potentially get a bullish engulfing ER buy signal, the green ones, like, for example, October 13th, the bottom of the bear market, the beginning of the bull market to the day. Right there. So that's not likely, but it's happened, and it will happen again. We'll get a green signal, and it'll be a perfect spot for it. That's important. Let's look at the DIA real quick. A lot of what I said about the spider applies to the DIA, the Dow Jones ETF. It broke a trend line again, but it popped back the last time pretty significantly. We're oversold, great. We're in various areas of support, going back quite a bit on today's lows right here. On the opening, gapping down. It also rallied, closed the gap, normal, and is holding approximately unchanged at the moment, only down 25 cents. When I just started the YouTube, it was, frankly, I think higher on the day by a small few ticks. And it's trying, emphasize the word trying, to reverse. Coming close. QQQ, same story, except we didn't hit any particular support area as accurately as the DIA and the SPY, but we're in the zone, so to speak. The closing price, if we're back up in the red, definitely in the zone where it was support, and on a closing basis, it would still be, even though we opened below it and then rallied back up into it this morning. So that would be good. But all three of these are yellow. All three are oversold, and all three could, not very likely, have a bullish engulfing green by the time the close occurs. We have to get above yesterday's high, point blank. Lastly, the Russell 2000, same story. I love it when everything fits together pretty well. Often, most of the time, doesn't. In support, oversold for 5 days in a row here. Look at the way it's broken down. That, to me, looks like it's a miniature exhaustion weakness situation. Very oversold, very, I emphasize, 11, way down there. holding the rally, not going back to lower on the day like the other three did. Currently up 1.01, and all the other statements I've made apply. Okay, futures. Lately, I start out with the cycle in the bond futures markets. Okay, here we go again, and I'm going to do it again and again. We're at support. We dropped it a little bit below it yesterday, but also oversold for the second day yesterday. Today, oversold again, but finally starting to pop back up. It could very well be a rally that might last as much as a week or so. My perfect cycle high is going to be only right around the corner on August 22nd, but it could be as late as August 28th. After that, it's outside of the window of opportunity from what position I have it in at the moment, and it could shift a little right or left, but not much. So we're supposed to have a very healthy rally here. Today could be the first day up. E-mini, oversold 2 days in a row. You realize we had 3 sell signals on the top of the E-mini. We got a red bearish engulfing on July 27th, end of story. We have another one a couple of days ago, no damage done. We never made a higher high than the 27th of July, our ER second sell signal. The day before it didn't work. The 1, 2, 3 days later worked also, both. And crash. We are now down to oversold conditions, just like the spider. It's a mirror image, except remember the hours of trading are different. So that's why we got all the great sell signals, because of the almost 24/7 trading hours. Not quite yet, but soon someday it will be. I think we're in the process of turning, and that's obviously what I'm implying in everything else, but I need more strength. We're down 95 at the moment on the spider, 37 cents lower on the DIA, hardly anything. And now we're down $1.75 on the QQQ. All right. Now, ten-year notes, I've already covered bonds on that cyclical chart at support. So our 10-year notes turned yellow, oversold. First day up today, starting to turn around again real good. Higher high than yesterday. Looks like probable higher close like bonds. And I think we could have hit the low. Looks fine to me. The only disappointment at the moment is I'm not getting a green buy signal like I did that worked for several days on August 4th. Next chart. E-mini, we've already covered, and NASDAQ, sell signals involved in, but not the highest high, which we oftentimes get like that lowest low for the crash and that lowest low for a very nice, healthy rally. Not all the signals work. That's why our stops are pretty close. Next, oversold conditions in 10-year notes. Fine, we've covered it. And crude. Now, we sold the top slightly above resistance, came down pretty nice. Yesterday, it bounced for the first time, period. Today, we're up a little bit more. Not too much, not too fast. I'm thinking a very normal bounce in a bear move. Next time we make new lows below 78.42-ish, we're going to break a low from probably 3 weeks back. Going to take a few days to do it, maybe a week. That's going to turn things a little bit more bearish, and you'll probably drop down to 74.70 next chart. Heating oil, pretty much the same story, but that becomes very interesting. This could be a shoulder. I love head and shoulders. They're my favorite pattern. I've seen probably thousands of them, many of which failed. So I'm looking, I know what to look for when you're getting a failure. That's probably the most important thing you should learn. It can't go too much higher, and it can't go too much to the right. It's got to stop here, about in time and in price. Okay, If it doesn't, this could explode. Heating oil, no pun intended. Next, natural gas. No, I won't say it again. Sell signal a few days ago worked perfectly. Remember, ER1 gets short the day of the red or green, and that means we're short from almost exactly 2.75. And we're still short. There's no reason we would have gotten stopped out as far as I can tell. I'm not running the strategy at the moment, but you'll see it. For the first time, I have put some strategies on some of these charts. So you'll see it. I could turn it on. I don't want to. Next. ER3 got short the day after the bearish engulfing, which was not the high. The high was another bearish engulfing on July 20th. We have seen yesterday again and again and again and again and again the new lows for the move down. Today's a little bit of a rally, but it looks kind of feeble to me. Nothing, no big deal about it. Deserves to bounce a little bit. What is it? What did it do? It went down 1, 2, 3 days in a row, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row. Hell. Next. Silver. Aha. Buy signal yesterday. Brand new buy signal. We opened and came down to, if we didn't open already, below our bid, got long at the green dots. Don't have anything to brag about yet. Very small profit, but it's working perfectly so far. But notice, please, that the strategy is running, and we got sell signals before, but ER3 never got filled 1, 2, 3 days after the sell signal, so that doesn't have a trade. It does not show you ER1. I'm not running it. ER3 is running, so we did get a new short right there 2 days after that bearish engulfing, and it was a loss on the first day, but it turned to a profit immediately the next day, substantially so. Sold it short right about there, right around the new short offer. This yellow line is our protective stop, which is moving, if needed, during the day, tick for tick. You do not see that because this is a daily chart. It's not a 1 minute chart. On a 1 minute chart, you would see it moving minute by minute if it needed it to do so. If it needed it to do so. So coming across the highs in general on a daily chart nicely, got stopped out of it. Guess what? Yesterday with a very nice profit. And that was the day it was signaling a change in trend because of the bullish engulfing. This is great. Now, I just simply hope this new long position does as well as the last short. Next chart, platinum. I don't have ER3 running, but we can talk about it for a second because look what happened. We opened at, or maybe a little bit below, the trigger to go long, the green dots, 898.78. Yesterday, like silver, we have a bullish engulfing, and it's super close to the lowest low to the move, only a day or two before that. So we bought all, for all practical purposes, at 898. Let's call it 900. Yep, that's fine. It's just a little bit higher. We're at 915.20 at the moment, near the high of the day, above yesterday's high, and the day before that, and the day before that. So we're off to a faster start. My money's on this racehorse. It's looking good, and I do not bet on the races. Next, I'm bullish, obviously. Wait a minute, do we have a third one? Yes, we do. Copper, another metal, has a bullish engulfing yesterday. It is, so far, the low of the trend down, which lasted a few weeks, which started, oh my goodness gracious, with a ER sell signal at the high of the rally. So I'm now saying we sold the high and bought the low, but it hasn't been enough time to tell. We bought it at the green dot. We have a profit at the moment. Our protective sell stop is at the yellow dot to begin with and may already started to move up if you're looking at the 1 minute charts, which plot minute by minute and change the stop minute by minute once you're in the trade. Okay, so far so good. I'm obviously turning bullish. I was expecting it because we were oversold. I said so. I don't think I got this buy signal before the close when I made the YouTube yesterday, but I probably said it could happen. Next, A few days ago, we got our buy signal, but unfortunately not at the low of the whole break. But yes, we did get a couple of other sell signals on the way down, all of which worked. You didn't get short ER3, unfortunately. It just dropped like a rock right away. ER1 is short from about 1405, or was, I should say, short from about 1405. That didn't work. That was a bad signal. And we never did buy the bottom on this particular metal. Next. Oh, I'm sorry, soybeans. And I do want to mention the soybeans. So, it doesn't matter what the label is to me. I'm just looking at the way the market moves and signals. Soybeans, huge historical major support area so far, and today's critical end of the week and new highs for a couple of weeks. So far is bouncing off of a huge support area. I hate to say this, but watch out for your tofu prices. This looks like it could make new historic highs, and I do not at the moment have any idea how much higher up is, how much higher it might go and how fast, but it's a super bullish long term. I think I'll pick the turn for you, but I don't necessarily have a bullish upside objective per se. So I have to be bullish here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I could talk about the possible double top over a long time period, but that's not coming true at the moment. We did bounce off of support. It does not have any long-term trend line breaks. I can't. Next chart. Soybean oil. Overbought for the last couple of days, near previous highs, a little resistance, and really at a decent resistance area. I should have drawn in this line. Look, it got a couple lows, you got a high, you got just a few weeks ago. So yeah, we're there. And it has a higher high, and at the moment it's not hanging on to anything but 13 ticks. So we might have a bearish engulfing, a red line by the end of the day. Let's look at it next week. This is prime territory for it, but it's not happening yet. So I have to be still bullish until proven otherwise, which I'm about to be proven, maybe. Next, meal, completely different story. Not holding very well, dropping into new lows already for a month and a half or so. No rally is very interesting. No break is flamboyantly bearish, meaning exhaustion. We're coming close to some support, true, but I think we'll get there. I'm still bearish, looking for a test of the previous two lows around 364. Next chart. Corn. Hey, okay, classic situation. Got oversold 1 or 2 days. Yeah, rallied a little yesterday, and there's a little bit of follow through today. No surprise. We're already back up to my first minor area of resistance. It may not take very much for this to turn down. Remember, you shouldn't be expecting any damn bull market at this point. I think the best outlook would be up to about 505. So I'm a little friendly, but basically bearish. Next chart. Wheat. Pretty much the same damn story here completely. Oversold for 3 days instead of 2. Rallying today for the first time nicely. And looks like it can come up to at least, and it's, halfway there already, 621. That's nothing. Could do it today. Well, that's the best I can say. The next level that looks plausible would be around 37, 637. And then it's pretty much a no man's land. Maybe I should mention 680, but maybe if it could come up all the way to the resistance area at the top where it topped out twice before. And that's around 760. Next chart. We got the top of the live cattle market to the day. ER3 sold it, I think, almost exactly on time. I'm not going to check at the moment. Dropped down very nicely. If you weren't short 3, you would have been short 1. So that's great. And right now, today, we've made a lower low for the first time since that sell signal. Obviously not coming down super fast, but some is better than none. We're rallying on the close, appears, by bouncing off of a minor area of support. I've got to basically be bullish because although we've broken the bull trend line, that wasn't around for more than a few months in the first place. I don't see a major top here. I'm afraid it is starting another move up to test resistance above the market, and the trend on a longer term basis could persist. I would say that today's low is going to be very important in the next few days. If we do get below today's low on a closing basis in particular, watch out, because then it could drop down to about 172, 171. Next chart. Rallying nicely today, second day, after minor downside breakouts, but now we're already back up to support resistance areas. And I do think that live hogs, lean hogs, are going to turn back down again and at least get down to 76, it looks like. Yeah, 75, 60. So I'm not really ready to turn bullish yet. But if we get above these rally highs, especially 88, then I'm changing my intermediate to longer term story, no doubt about it. Right now, I can't expect this rally to persist. I have to look for the next minor low. First, OJ. Volatility galore. Symptoms of a blow off top. Gapped up. The gap is not closed. It's right there at around 312. Bouncing back up a little bit today after yesterday and the day before, Wednesday and Thursday of this week, going crazy. Again, that kind of activity is frequently what happens before a top. On rare occasion, it is a prelude to more volatility, which I wouldn't doubt, but upwards and increasing volatility. Can't really tell right now. I have to go on the short side because of the overbought condition and the volatility situation, but it did hang in there yesterday and coming right back up again. This is going to be very, very interesting. I'm not sure which way to go. I wished that we had another sharp down day and it was probably trading below 310. Didn't get my wish. Kind of wondering. Next, cocoa. No doubt about it in my mind, and I didn't expect it to come back up quite this much, but yeah, I did say it was overbought, overdid it, and I did say that on August 8th, and I didn't expect new lows, and it didn't make new lows, and it dribbled down for a day or two. So oversold conditions popped it back up for a couple of days, to a reasonable level, and today's coming down good. It did go up 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row, and this is the first time this week then that we are coming off. More weakness, the better. I am looking for it to test 3,300 and lower. Next, off of support. Brand new. I didn't see this yet. Brand new buy signal in coffee today, in place at the moment. All it has to do is close higher on the day. Everything else is done. 4 days. This is the 5th day of being oversold. It's at the bottom. How nice of a support area I drew in. I don't know when, but it was quite a while back. And it was obvious because of these two other lows, one of which we have a bullish engulfing in. And that was on 11/21/22. Nice. So here we are again. Same prices, same conditions, same area. Are we going to get the same story? I'd love to say yes, and I have to expect yes. And what happened before? Approximately a week rally to the top of what I consider the top of the trading support and resistance zone. Right now, it's going to be a little resistance because we're at the bottom end of it. But because we're at the bottom end of it and didn't really close below the bottom, we never penetrated the bottom of the support area, and therefore we're bouncing off the bottom of support. I would have thought maybe at a higher price, but that didn't work. I love it. This is great. Very nice coordination. Very interesting parallels that I didn't notice until this morning. Turning bullish in coffee, point blank. First stop on the way up, 154.60. Next stop, potentially 159. And very, 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 very important is going to be the 168.5 area. Next, we've got 25 minutes and 18 seconds under my belt. Now, sugar is almost the end here. Nothing happening. No signals lately. I'm looking for a move down to 20, period. Next. No new signals, but we came close. We were back up to resistance a few days ago when I talked about it. We were back up in the same ballpark area of the previous bearish engulfing that worked for a few days. Not very good example at all. But double top at resistance, overbought condition for only a day. This is Friday now, and almost every day this week was down, and it was. Today, we're not doing much better, up nothing, 0.02, just a couple ticks. So I'm not going to be surprised if it closed below yesterday's low, and every day this week it was down after being overbought. So, and it's trying to make a new low for an extra couple of weeks below the low of August 3rd, which should have some stops below it. It's on its way down. Next. Resistance stopped the last rally. Unfortunately, there's only a bearish engulfing and it didn't get overbought, in which case I didn't get an official sell signal here, but this is part of my favorite technique, the bearish engulfing. And the nowhere near overbought. So, resistance area and engulfing. New lows, but now it's oversold. And even though it's still oversold today, it's up very little, but it's the first day up for 5-6 days since the bearish engulfing. Okay, a little bit of a bounce here. I'm bearish, can't help it. Let's shake off the oversold condition by bouncing a little and then make new lows after that. Next. Back to the E-mini. You guys have a great day. And wait a minute. We are still down. And now on the E-mini, we're down 95 cents. Really not down too much on the day at all. Still holding. DIA currently 43 cents lower, but a little lower. And we're up down $1.60 on the Qs. I'll leave you with that. You have a great weekend.